Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zarel. Let's get to it. Alright, so today we're doing the deep dive, codenamed Clean Reserve. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. So, the first stage of the deep dive has volatile guts and killed 2 dreadnoughts and 1 black box. The dreadnoughts are, of course, the bosses of Deep Rock Galactic. It has shields and invulnerable stages, so you have to plan a little bit your attack on those. The black box will have a pulsing green light around it, so you'll be able to visually see where it's at, but it's not marked on the terrain scanner like the dreadnoughts. And then you just have to do a little zone control. You have to stay inside the bubble while swarms of enemies are coming after you. So take out the enemies while staying within the bubble. Don't get overwhelmed until that bar reaches all the way up. So relatively straightforward. You're probably going to see the black box in between the 2 dreadnoughts as you're going along. But it's not a guarantee because each level is a little bit different. So once you get the black box done, make sure you get both of the dreadnoughts taken care of, or the pods if you get the double dreadnought arbalist and lacerator combo. And this is a good time to point out that the deep dive is a raid-like environment with 3 different stages, and you can play it solo or you can play it with up to 3 other players. You can either play it with your friends or you can matchmake with up to 3 other players. Now, we did go through and get a special brew for the benefit, which gave us extra pickaxe power damage. So depending on what the special brew is, you can get a different effect, which will no doubt help you in your deep dive. So once you get both of the dreadnoughts taken care of and the black box, it's time to call in the drop pod and get out. Make your way quickly to the drop pod and either follow the mule or make your own way up to the drop pod.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes. Hurry up! I'll get solid work, team. Time to go deeper.
Alright, and that's it for stage 1 of the deep dive. Ready to go on to stage 2. Now, I didn't mention it, but volatile guts means that when you destroy one of the bugs, they blow up. So it works both ways, for and against you. If you're next to it, you're going to take damage. If it's farther away, but next to other bugs, they'll take damage. Stage 2 of the deep dive has you collecting 2 alien eggs and extracting 200 morkite. So look for the morkite on the sides and, somewhere within the cave, either on the floor or on the ceiling or on the wall. Alien eggs, they're on the terrain scanner, and you can't miss them because they're in that globular mess, organic matter somewhere within. And of course, you want to pick up as much nitra and gold as you can on each stage of the deep dive. The gold will, of course, add to your credits at the end of the deep dive. Gold, so that is good for all kinds of things, including upgrades, promotions, cosmetics, and trade. Nitra you can use for resupply pods every 80 nitra that you deposit, is one resupply pod that you can call in. So you'll always be flush with ammo if you always have at least 80 nitra in the bank. So once you get the alien eggs and the morkite, then you're ready to call in the drop pod and get out. Even though you are ready to go, it's still a good idea to keep your eyes open and get that gold and nitra either on the way back to the drop pod, around the drop pod, or before you go to the drop pod. And depending on what profession you are or what job you take into the deep dive, could help you more or less during any particular mission. Drillers are very good getting from one point to the next. So when you call in the drop pod, the driller can make a straight line and go very, very quickly. They can drill through the rock very easily, although that does it does require some ammunition. So once again, it's important to have nitra. Once you call in the drop pod, make a beeline for it. As you can see here, we had a pack of Praetorians coming after us, as well as the normal swarms of bugs that come after you when you call the drop pod in. Now this stage has regenerative bugs as a modifier, so that means that the bugs, if you do not take them out, they will start to regain their health back over time. So make sure that you take them out quickly when you see them and completely, and don't let them start to regenerate their health. So quickly make your way back to the drop pod. If you're following the mule, then you'll be able to get on the drop pod right away. If you are ahead of the mule, you'll have to kind of defend your wherever you are at by the drop pod before it docks. Once the mule docks, then it'll be unlocked and you can get in. Now this is a good time to point out that everything carries over from one stage to the next. So if you are getting a little bit hairy around the drop pod, then you can get on the drop pod and drop whatever you have in your pockets in the mule or rig or whatever happens to be the case in the next stage. That also means that your health, ammo, grenades, and traversal tools, also whatever you have on hand, carries over from one stage to the next, as well as gold and nitra. So don't call in resupplies until you need it. So once you get under that 50%, then it's probably a good idea, depending on whether you have a full group or you're just playing by yourself. Now the last stage of the deep dive has you getting a quarks. Look for those glowing blue bits on the side of the wall or the floor or the ceiling, and dig out those big chunks of quarks. And a black box. So we have two stages of black boxes, and this time around we have Mactera plague. So you're going to see a lot more flyers than normal. That doesn't mean you're not going to see any other bugs. It just means you're going to see a lot more flyers than normal. So make sure you keep your eyes on the sky. Now, as with any other point extraction, the point extraction level gets more dangerous the longer you take. The longer you're in the level, the more enemies you're going to see, and the swarms are going to be more frequent. So it is important to kind of do what you have to do and get out. If you have the time to grab some extra resources, some extra nitrous, some extra gold, that's always great, because you can always do with a few more credits in the bank when you finish, and of course be able or have the capability to call in more resupplies if needed. So while you're getting the quarks, the side mission is to get the gold and the nitra, and then of course keep your eyes open for that black box. Now of course you should be communicating. If you're playing with other people, communicate with them via the mic or with a laser pointer, so at least people know what you're doing, so that if something were to happen and you go down, hopefully there's someone that's close by that can help you out. Alright, so once again, black box is a zone control, so just stay within the bubble and that indicator will, or progress meter will go up. The more people that are in the bubble, the faster it'll go. So if you have 4 people and only 2 people are in the perimeter, it's going to go up slower than if all 4 people are there at the same time. It's not always possible to have all 4 people within the perimeter safely. If you have a gunner, someone that can put a shield down, then of course you'll at least have a haven for a short amount of time. If you have a driller, you can, or you have the potential to drill underneath where the bubble still reaches, so that you only have one entrance to worry about where the bugs might be coming through. But it depends on the situation and what is going on. Once you have all your quarks and you have the black box, you're ready to go. Depending on how everything pans out, you could do the black box at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end, and it's really just up to your team what works out best. Now, unlike other levels, you have to wait it out for the drop pod to show up, so you have to you're going to have a swarms of enemies coming after you while you're waiting for the drop pod to show up. And then, of course, once the drop pod shows up, there are going to be swarms of enemies. And since it is the Mactera plague, you're going to see a lot of flyers while you're trying to get out. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media. And thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.
Roger that. Supplies are coming.
I ain't got all day. Let's leave.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 2 minutes. Nitro's been withdrawn and supply pod is inbound.
Last grenade, ready to blow!
Extraction commencing. Good work.
Brother! The resupply is here. Rock and stone!